discuss those. And this says we get 30 minutes. A lot of information, so I'm going to go fast, okay? And you can take pictures of this, by the way. First is nutritional therapy, okay? That's the first thing that our doctor and most doctors that deal with, autism, ADHD, allergies, asthma, all of this, epidemics, kids, nutrition. Diet is not a one-size-fits-all. No one single approach, for a child. You gotta individualize that. And depending on your child's issues, you might combine 2 or 3 different, diets. So the first thing that we started is, gluten-free, casein-free, soy-free. And some parents would add another S there, which is sugar-free. So, and I'm going to tell you why is that. Why is that is one of kind of like the perfect diet to kind of start with. It's not not the perfect, but it's not the perfect diet for a kid with hyperactivity, but it's a good place to start. Specific food reaction diet is when you have those tests, and if they have sensitivity or allergy to those foods, then you take them out of the diet, out of that diet. And so all of those others, and just kind of highlight Feingold diets when you talk about that a bit. All right, so why do we start with the gluten-free, casein-free? Why is it worth a try for us parents? And there's an enzyme called DPP4, which the job of that enzyme is to break down gluten and casein, and that's the protein that you find in wheat and flour, and the casein in dairy. Okay, so a lot of the kids that have hyperactivity, especially like ADHD, autism, they don't have those enzymes. Like if they will be tested, some of them really don't have it. And so when you are lacking those enzymes, your all of your proteins doesn't get digested or break down. So you have this partial proteins or peptides, and they're called the bad ones, the mischievous peptides. Guess what that does? If you have that in your system, it turns into glutamorphin and casio for casein morphin. Yes, I said morphin. Like you are drugging yourself or you're drugging your child if you have that. And that's why a lot of these kids, are, they're so hyper, and then they bump their head into something, and then they have blood oozing, and they're fine because they're in the best, morphine. they're morphined, they're drugged. And intoxication is pleasurable and very appealing to kids. And so they're addicting. And so these are the food that they will really crave for. Isn't that crazy? And then with all of that in your system, those mischievous peptides, that damages the methylation process, which is your detox process. So that's why with these kiddos, when you help with their detoxification, they show, improvement when you take care of that. So as a mom, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, that is, that's, if it won't harm my kid, absolutely, I'll give it a shot and see if that would help them. All right. So when you do a gluten-free, casein-free diet, it removes 2 most commonly reactive foods, the gluten and the casein. And the specific food reaction diet, you just remove the particular foods to which your child is uniquely reactive. So again, take out which ones you're allergic to, either through allergy or just sensitivity, and take those out. Feingold diet, we didn't do the diet itself, but I love their when you register to become a member of the Feingold Association, they would give you a grocery list of all of the foods in the grocery store that does not have the bad stuff, artificial flavoring, artificial coloring, bad preservatives, and I loved it. So I was, that was my basis on which food, to buy for us. So they have the Feingold diet that you follow, and it's just really taking the oxalates out of your diet first and then reintroducing it back to them. And this is big for individuals with ADD, ADHD. And the psychologist that gave this lecture on Feingold diet has said, like, even just for parents trying the Feingold diet, more than 25% get out of the diagnosis for hyperactivity, for ADHD. I'm like, man, that's awesome. Because of all the, they react to the artificial dyes and coloring and all of that.
Red dye 40 was taken out at one point. I think I was in high school. Mm-hmm. They stopped the red dye 40 in the M&Ms for a long time.
Yeah. It's still in a lot of...
Well, they put it back, and I don't...
It's crazy. It's crazy. So together, this powerful diets can generally eradicate many symptoms of the food reactions. And get this, more than 60% of hyperactive kids improve on this diet, plus improvement in behavior, mental focus, mood, and sleep. Oh my gosh, you tell that to a parent. If you tell me, if I have a kid that's hyperactive and you tell me like 60% has improved, I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, I'll try that out. So that's how diet is very, very important. And just so, if you ever need a lady here locally that does gluten-free baking, we have one of our oiler, Miss Kim Moyers. She is so good. So this is like, I only have this last one, so you can take a picture with it if you need the resource. But she's really, really good. She does, if she can get the ingredient organic, she uses organic everything in her stuff.
So, Mahal, you said you guys didn't do the Feingold diet. Is there a reason why?
We didn't do it. We started with a gluten-free, casein-free before going to the doctor while waiting to go to the doctor. And then once we get to the doctor, we did allergy testing. So we did a specific food diet. And there are so many natural produce that are gluten-free, casein-free, or that are gluten-free that Axel still reacts to. So we just kind of followed that. Yeah. And most of the Feingold diet, I just really got that to have access to, like, what brands of foods are the clean ones. Yes.
Also, if somebody does want to start that, there's also an app called Shopwell, and you can actually put your allergens that you want to avoid and scan food at the grocery store.
Yeah.
And so if you're just starting it, that's a good way to
What's
start.
the name of it again?
Shopwell.
Shopwell. That's
And
great.
if you're just out and about and you want to see, about 90% of what I've ever scanned has always been in it.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. That's awesome.
And that's an app?
it's an app, and it's a free app.
Yeah. That's cool. All right, more nutrition therapy. So if you want to start, if you want to give gluten-free, casein-free a try, you restrict all of the casein foods first for 3 weeks. And I did not restrict everything to start with. It was so overwhelming for me. So I started out with yogurt. And because Axel, if you will let him at that time, he'd eat like probably 3 boxes of yogurt, in one sitting. So the doctor asked me, what is the top 3 foods that he is craving for? And at that time it was milk, it was yogurt, and chocolate chip cookies. Guess what? Like gluten and casein. So it started with yogurt. And I'm telling you guys, and when you do this, remember how it's like morphine, so they're like addicted to it. And if you take out, like for kind of like a drug addict, if you take those out, they go through that withdrawal. Yeah, when they go through that withdrawal, and it can be ugly. Yes. But just support them in that process because it's going to be a lot better.
I'm transitioning back from eating junk food to
right.
healthy.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So it can be ugly.
Hi, Logan.
Hello.
Hi, Logan. I really wish I could come with you. I can't wait.
Axel, can you say hi?
Hi.
Hi, Axel.
Hi, Axel. Are you going swimming?
He's ready to go swimming.
Where are you going? Axel, where are you going? Swimming. Logan. I told you guys.
It's Tuesday.
Can you go upstairs?
Well, that'll do.
Dad, do you need
Thank
this?
you.
Okay.
But who will take care of me while you guys are gone?
Tristan will take care of you.
So Sorry, we're disrupting.
Sorry.
Thank you.
All right, so you start with casein, and then you restrict all of the gluten foods for 3 months. So that's just kind of how you start, and check and see if they have improved, or not. And restrict the top most reactive foods: wheat, dairy, eggs, peanuts, corn, soy, chocolate, and yeast. And you guys, this is, if your child is already like a picky eater, this is so hard, but it's so worth it. Like Kelly's nodding his head. I'm like, yeah. But it is so worth it. It is so worth it. And for me, like, I really cannot say no when we did this with Axel, because our doctor said, you're gonna take care of diet first, and if you don't do that, then I'm not gonna go to the next step. Like, and I can tell if you're doing it or not. I can examine Axel and know if you're doing the diet or not. And so, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I really had to do it because we want to go through the other treatments. So monitor the children for symptoms and changes in behavior. And then, have a food and behavior diary. That really helps, because you're like, oh my gosh, what, he had a meltdown, sensory wise, he was fine. Like, what did we give him to eat that day? And I would add to that, like, a poop diary as well. Like, the autism doctors, that's all they ask us is the poop.
Also, if they say they have headaches or stomach aches, that's also good to.
Yeah. And it's so easy for you to, kind of track that down if you have the diary. And so skin testing, we did blood testing for Axel and just gave us a list of the foods that he's very reactive to. A lot of it is not like true allergy, but it's just as his immune system is just so inflamed and so out of whack that his body treats pretty much every food that he takes as an allergen. And then you have more inflammation, then immune system gets out of whack. So it's this whole vicious cycle. And so, like, it's funny. Well, not funny, but like when we tested, his food sensitivities, there's only 2 things that his body did not react to as an allergy, and it was beets and olive oil. Those are only 2 things. Other than that, everything is, has sensitivity to. It's like, oh gosh, I remember those days. All right, so as far as nutrition, if you don't have the capacity to like go do testing or do all of this, moms always know best. So eat fruits and vegetables. Go easy on the sweets. Keep junk food to a minimum. Eat enough healthy protein. If a certain food doesn't seem to agree with you, don't eat it. So follow mom's advice, because those are really, really good. Starting 2 weeks from now, we're offering as a food scan, and it will tell you, like the best foods that can benefit you. Now, this doesn't register histamine response, so it's not an allergy scan, but it will give you an idea of what are the best foods for you. So that will be available pretty soon.
Can I add one to that?
Yes.
Watch your skin. If you have bumpy skin after eating something, a lot of times, especially on your arms, and this is coming from my doctor, this is where a lot of times here and on your face and on your back. That's where you'll have like breakouts and things like that. If you're eating something a lot, it'll break out in your skin because it's trying, all the toxin is trying to push out of your body.
Right. Yeah.
And so you will see it.
I agree.
All right. So, what can we add as oilers? What are good strategies that we can add? Like Ningxia Red is the best thing ever. It's called a super fruit. It is high in fiber and in protein. In fact, just think of this wolfberry, 13% of that is protein. So Axel does not really eat meat. So this is like our main protein source. And just, the doctor said don't force him to eat meat because it's going to take a lot of cell energy to digest meat protein. He's already affected, and we need as much energy to focus on other things. You don't have to push protein, just get it on plant-based protein, plant sources. This is also high in antioxidant, and it's just really awesome. That's like your supplement for the day. So we take 2 ounces each a day. We start with that in the morning, and it's the best thing for you. Millie, did you have a question?
When he does eat meats, what kind of meats does he like?
He doesn't.
He doesn't at all. Okay,
Yeah, chicken.
probably.
Chicken.
Has he eaten chicken? No. Okay.
Chick-fil-A?
He eats the waffle fries.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the second step is supplementation. Why do we need it? Nutritional deficiencies create dysfunction in your gut, in your immune system, and your nervous system. So if you have dysfunction in your gut, that further creates, so you can't digest food, you can't absorb nutrients, that creates more nutritional deficiencies. So again, this whole vicious cycle, and then you get poor digestion, malabsorption of nutrients, leaky gut syndrome is a big thing for these kiddos. And I always, tell moms that when they say, "Oh, my kid is so hyper," the teacher is, sort of forcing me to get medication, and and I said, kind of look inside, because there's a lot of things that you can do where they're, a lot of them are really messed up digestive wise. So. And when I tell them that, they're like, it's so foreign to them. But, that's something that's so overlooked as well. So if you have gastrointestinal disorders, it exacerbates your existing nutrient deficiencies, and then it creates more, new deficiencies. And this can be overcome only with just high dosage of nutrients available in supplements. You just cannot eat enough, like blueberries to get, all of these nutrients that you need, that your body needs. And just talking of gut health, and our body, our whole body is 10% human cells, and the rest of it are microbes. So bacteria, virus, and fungi. And it's a good mix of a lot of healthy, the good ones, and a little bit of the bad ones. So they keep that balance. So we're just pretty much walking bacteria. 90%, we're 90% microbes. So 90%, say 90%, right? 90% of your microbiome, that's called your microbiome, is right in your gut. Just think about it. Let it sink in. 90% of your microbiome is in your gut, and 75% of your immune system is in your gut. And that's why it's so important to really, really work on their digestion, their digestive system. And if you have gut dysbiosis, it triggers a whole body inflammation. Remember at the very beginning, when you were here at the beginning, I talked about a main cause of hyperactivity is the gut-brain connection. So this is what it is. When you have gut dysfunction, it triggers a whole body inflammation in a very weak and compromised immune system already. And then there's that whole body inflammation, especially the brain inflammation. So that's the brain, the gut-brain connection. There's a book that says your gut is your second brain. And how kids that have a lot of gut dysbiosis, they just have that brain fog and they can't focus, and that's mainly what it is. And so high levels cannot be attained with diet alone, so that's why we need to supplement. And oily lifestyle strategies. What can we do about it? So we do.
What did I do?
We do have a lot of things already in our possession, as oilers, that are so good to support your digestion and to support overall health for supplementation. And just remember, like, if you're putting a drop of citrus oil, in your water, one drop contains 50 milligrams of bioflavonoids. Those are the really good stuff that in the plant. Can you imagine that we have access, just one drop, putting one drop in your drink, have access to 50 milligrams of bioflavonoid. You put 4 or 5 drops in there, you had 250 milligrams of bioflavonoid. That's so easy. To me, that's so easy. You put Nature Red, 2 ounces of Nature Red, and put a drop of lime essential oil or lemon. That's already a really fortified, liquid supplement. So we have our oils that can do all sorts of stuff. And inner defense is like thieves in a capsule, plus it has, what did they add in here? Thieves plus oregano and thyme. So they even fortified the thieves oil blend and added, some amazing oils in there. So this is a great one to support digestive and just overall health. Again, Life 9. I like, when we went to the rally, I like what Deborah Rayburn said about taking Life 9. This is our powerful probiotic. And she said that, this has 17 billion live cultures. And she said that if you take, so suggested use is 1 capsule every night. But she said if you take, for 3 months, if you take 2 Life 9 per night, during with meals, these cultures, your good bacteria, it just doesn't stay there. It multiplies every so often. So just imagine if you do that for 3 months, just like you have just this overflow of really good bacteria, and then after 3 months you do it just one a day. It's amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never thought of it, because I always just give Axel 1. Or even if you can just do that. Huh?
How many?
2.
2 at the beginning.
He said 2 a day for 3 months. And they multiply, every time. So that would just give your system a whole host of good bacteria. So this is 17 billion live cultures for good health. So I like that. We have one of the really, really good probiotic, out there, you guys. So I can give that to my family. Yeah. All right. Okay, the next one is essential enzyme. Our enzymes are so important. Remember how we're talking about your digestive issues? There was one oiler that she had like oatmeal, like a really sticky.
That's
oatmeal.
when I started using it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And she
When I saw that.
These enzymes are essential enzymes. And put it in that oatmeal, and I don't know how long it takes, but it liquefied it. It was so amazing, and that's what it's doing to our gut. It's really that's how powerful it is in helping with our digestion. It is amazing. The essential enzyme 4, and then mind-wise, this is a liquid, and the mind-wise, I like that because this is just a profound effect on Axel with his speech and his focus. So we called it like a what do you call it? It's like a good brain power supplement.
So is that, Mildred was telling me that with the oils, you have to be consistent with them. Like, you can't just say, I got to test it. She's got to test her on the
Right.
So is that the way this step is too?
And yes, we do, we just follow the Zyto. So these are giving you some of my favorites, that would support gut health and overall and focus. But, we look at his Zyto scan now for all of us, and I just follow that. So if there's supplements that come up, I would follow that. And if you don't want to do the oils and you just want to do the supplements, when you do a scan, it would show just, you could pick just supplements. And so then you would know which ones.
Can I say something?
Yes.
On regards of your question about supplements, it depends on what your body needs. So you're gonna have to pay attention. For example, I use MindWise. I drank a bottle, like it said, and then I got another bottle, and I would skip maybe 1 or 2 days sometimes to see how I'm doing. So there's times when I drink it more often, and there's times when I don't. But I'm always supplementing one way or another. So yeah, it's just to listen to your body. Yeah.
And then longevity essential oil is, I love this oil, this supplement. It's already an essential oil in a capsule, already pre-made for you. And it has frankincense, which, in the Bible is revered as the oil that can cure any illness, known to men. It has orange, which is one of our powerful detoxifiers, citrus oil. It has clove oil, which is the most powerful antioxidant oil. And then it has thyme essential oil, which is a great support for, for like against microbes. So I love that. I love longevity. One thing that I love too is multigrains. Not for Axel, but really for Tristan. But Axel takes this too. They take 2 capsules a day. And it's just to, if they don't eat vegetables, this is really, really good. It has spirulina, alfalfa sprouts, barley grass, bee pollen, Pacific kelp, and essential oils. If you want to know what those are, like, ask Miss Karen.
But if you have a gluten intolerance, be very careful with anything that has barley in it.
That has barley? Oh, that has barley grass. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I love that. I love that supplement. Do you take it? Do you take it? The kids do. Yeah. I can't afford the rest of it. So, yeah.
I will say, for gluten intolerance versus the people that are gluten, like celiac, a lot of the products I've been able to use being gluten intolerant versus being a celiac, because we do have the seed still promise and we don't put the sprays on it and we don't do that.
Right.
So a lot of
that makes a big difference.
So if you don't have a legit, yeah.
You're right. Like I know my daughter can eat anything gluten out of the United States. Anything gluten in the United States, she cannot eat at all.
The products that they offer, the gluten stuff that they do use, it's got the seed still promise.
Yeah.
You don't have those toxins put on it.
Gotcha. That makes a big difference.
Yeah. And we do have the Kid Sense, the Mighty Bites, which is kind of like their vitamins, essential vitamins, and the Mighty Zyme, which are the enzymes designed for kiddos. So this is for children 4 to 12 years old. They can do that. Like if you like because I used the adult supplements for Axel early on, so you just have to just remember the recommendation is for a 150-pound adult. So you can, if it says you can take 4 of this, so you kind of figure that out with your kid's weight. That's how I did it. Mm-hmm. All right. And also, so I said, we have access to Zytoscan. So the Zytoscan can really tell you what are the supplements for you. If you really want to really focus on supplements, I would advise to do like a general scan, at the beginning of the month, and then after 2 weeks, do a supplement scan. If you want to do, if you really want to focus on
and you said this scan is going to be available also for food?
We have a food scan that will be available soon.
So if someone is not an oiler who's listening in, they can come in and scan for food?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
Just for overall wellness. And and digestive as well. The digestive scan just doesn't scan oils, it scans for like vitamins, minerals, food that can, support your gut, and vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and probiotics. So like it has all of the other wellness stuff and not just oils.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So next is detoxification. Let's get going here. Most kids that are hyperactive have impaired detox pathways. They just don't have a way or like impaired pathway to detoxify. That was the main thing with Axel. Like your main detoxifier is glutathione. That is way down. When we tested him. And so why is that? Why do they have a hard time detoxifying? They're in a lot of oxidative stress. And oxidative stress is just pretty much like, your cells are rusting. That's oxidative stress. Just like when you peel an apple and it turns brown, that's, oxidative stress. And so they have oxidative stress. They have chronic inflammation. Remember we talked about the gut that affects your immune system, that affects your brain. And then, this toxic buildup. And so it's so hard for them to detoxify. So we have to address that. The first one is detoxifying your home. Again, we've preached about that here for a gazillion times. And to detoxify your home. The chemicals that are present in your innocent soap and your makeup and your deodorant and your household cleaner and laundry detergent. Check that out. Oh, okay. Well, let me call Tristan real quick. Hang on.
Add them together, please.
Okay. You're ready for the kiddos. Hold on. Oops, not interesting. And then, so here, according to the CDC, more than 200 high-volume synthetic chemicals can be found in the bodies of nearly all Americans, including the newborn infants. That is crazy. So we're living in a toxic soup. Here are the main things that you need to look for. You can take a picture of that. And look at that. Look at that. And then, like how I wish I had, like that I was already with Young Living when I was detoxifying our home. That would have made it so much easier when you can buy a kit that can get rid of a lot of, of the stuff where you can ditch and you switch. So
that you do have the premium starter kit for
they can start as
we have 4.
Yeah.
4 premium.
Mm-hmm.
It's not Young Living is more than oils. You can sign up for Ninja Red. You can sign up with Thieves. You can sign up with Savvy Minerals, and you can sign up with oils.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so you only have to sign up with one of them. And
You can sign one, or if you. Yeah, and then as a member, like for example, you started with the oils, and then the next month you want to get this premium starter kit for Thieves. You can do that. You can do 5 or 6 of them if you want. So you can, we have access to those starter kits at any time, and that's the cheaper ways to get them. And every time you get one, you'll get like the stress away, all the little freebies under. Oh, come on, Tristan. All right. So in detoxifying your body, you have four different things that you need to consider. The first one is, again, the gut, colon cleansing. Number 2, focus on the liver. And then number 3, you have to provide your body the nutrients to sort of capsulate this toxins to make them more, to make them easier to eliminate from the body. And we have many of those in our toolkit right now. And then 4th is support your body's natural detox process by adjusting the body's way to being on the alkaline state. Did we talk about this?
Yes,
Either of you talked about
Alkaline.
Yes, so
avocados. Yeah, because your body's too acidic. It's not going to do much.
Yeah.
Sure that's where my money's
so phase 1, of course, is like detox your house. And then we have the cleansing trio. That's a powerful colon cleansing. I've done that several times. We usually do it twice a year. If you can't, you do it once a year. This is the perfect time to do it. Springtime and fall is your body's natural way to shed. So that's the perfect way to do it.
Did you say you have colon cleansing?
Yeah, cleansing trio.
Yeah.
They're out though, aren't they right now?
Are they? Or you can just order those 3. Or is it out of
That'll take care of everything.
I'll look.
And then, so when you do a cleansing trio, you always follow with a parasite protocol. And Deborah Rayburn talked about our para-free, which is really, really powerful in getting rid of those parasites. So, like, when you do your para-free for parasite protocol, she said, you can take pictures, but don't send it to her.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, she did at the rally.
Yeah.
That's true.
So,
yes, I remember.
Ladies, hold on.
It's okay.
And then the next is, focus on liver, right? So we have Juva Power and Juva Tone as supplements, and we have Juva Cleanse and Juva Flex as oils.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do this as a supplement, or you can apply in the liver area with either of those 2 oils. And the Juva Cleanse is a vitality, so you can make your own supplement with it. That's actually what I did with Axel. Is I started with 1 capsule, 1 drop of oil until I finished the whole bottle.
Wow.
Of the 5 ml. Yeah. So. All right, I'm almost done here. And then number 3, remember how providing the body with nutrients that would sort of convert the really toxic stuff into something that's not as toxic and it's easily detox by the body. Sulfurzyme is your number one. That's why I love the red drink, because I can put sulfurzyme in it. You would poop a whole lot more than usual. And that's really good. And then alkaline. Alkaline is to help with getting
pH.
into the alkaline state. And Millie, can you explain this? I'm gonna go get
Yes,
Tristan really
yes,
quick.
of course.
If you have supplements questions. It's okay.
Okay, taking over. So,
Oh, I did bring
do you mind
fresh
holding
raw
that?
milk from the I don't know if you guys were here the other night, but I do have raw milk if anybody's interested in it. It's just $5 a gallon.
Okay, so the next phase is sulfurzyme and alkaline. How many of you have tried sulfurzyme or alkaline?
So I haven't tried it, but I know she was talking about it. Isn't that what Maha did the Facebook thing on the other day about
I
pooping?
haven't watched it, but I can tell you that this sulfurzyme is the first thing I tried, and it has MSM, which is like all over our body.
Yeah.
And the source where they get the MSM is actually from a very reputable part, of the world, because a lot of it, since it's so readily available, a lot of it is contaminated or cross-contamination from others, sources. So we don't have to worry about that, which is amazing. And it also has the wolfberry powder. And we already heard, about the wolfberry. It has all the nutrients, and it acts as prebiotics.
Wow.
So, we have the Life 9 on the other supplement, which is the probiotics. And now with sulfurzyme, we are providing prebiotics, which promotes for those probiotics to thrive, you could say, right?
So would you take this like in the morning and the other at night, or do you?
No, both. This one you can take all day long.
Okay.
You can take it all day long. It is amazing for seasonal support as well. And alkaline, it is recommended to take it in the morning, first thing before breakfast. But you can also hack the uses for different needs that you may have. For example, if you're working nights, you're not producing things that you are producing when you sleep at night. So doing alkaline night and in the morning helps a lot. If you are having fun and you drink alcohol one night, drinking alkaline also helps balance the pH. So, but the regular, use of it is every morning before breakfast, because that's when you balance your pH and all the acidity in your body. Bye, Miss Leah.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Okay.
If you like this drink, like it's tea with the milk cheese,
Why are we leaving?
go to Leah's Kitchen. Awesome. Thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Millie.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mahal?
Yes.
I really wish I could go swimming again.
Ask your mom who can arrange it. They go every
Next
Tuesday.
Tuesday, I'll see you.
All righty.
So what's the difference between the
Bye.
powder and the capsules
The
of the?
powder has stevia. So if you put it in your drink, then it's already sort of has a sweetener. Yeah.
So it works. They both work the same though.
Yes.
Yeah, you just want to take
The powders, it's fine.
wolfberry powder and the MSM. But then the powder has stevia, and it's so like I do that pretty much every day with the red drink.
Wasn't that what you made the video about last
The
week?
makeup starter kit, I think, is $150. Yeah, plus shipping and tax.
Was she like the owner or something?
Yes, this is the owner.
That is Leah. That is Leah.
I
we
love
go there,
Leah's
we
kitchen.
love
I love
Leah.
the Thai noodles.
Love
Oh my
Leah.
gosh,
Yeah.
they're so good.
I
Me and my
had that
boyfriend go a lot.
Really, us
Yes.
too. We're there Fridays.
I had that.
Leah's Kitchen is here in Lufkin, and they have Asian food. It's an Asian fusion restaurant. Shout out. Right in front of the courthouse in downtown.
You can, you can start, but you can actually
You know where the
start with
black
thieves.
fountain is?
How I wish again I had that when
At
I
the
started
courthouse?
with Axel.
Yes,
That would have
yes.
made
It's
life
right across
easier.
the street from
You
that
can actually
fountain.
start with, if you want to do the nutritional support, you can, do a Ningxia Red Kit. And if we're already members, you always can buy that. It's the cheapest way to get your thieves and your Ningxia and your oils. All right. So I'm going to end with this. Is DNA your destiny? Like several years ago, doctors really thought that, we've mapped out the human genome. Like we can track everyone's gene, individual. I can get, Miss Karen's gene, and then we can fix everything. And, they thought that's it. And they thought that's how easy it is. But it's not.
Like designer babies.
Right, yeah. So why your DNA isn't your destiny? Because the new science of epigenetics. So actually what the choices that we make can change the expression of our DNA. So that's very, very interesting. And so DNA expression is affected by 10% genetic information, 90%, all of this stuff that we talked about, diet and nutrition, toxins, stress, and emotional trauma. We're going to have a class by Ms. V coming up pretty soon. That lifestyle choices, how you sleep, how you exercise, do you smoke, do you drink alcohol, all of that. 90% your choice. You actually have the ability to change the expression of your DNA, to change the expression of your kid's DNA. That's powerful, you guys. That is so powerful. And I know, like, when I say, we really offer some life-changing, ways, here at our Wellness Tuesday, that's what I have in mind. That if we can teach them about toxins, about, managing stress by diffusing the oils or, doing emotional trauma clearing, lifestyle choices, that's, we can affect someone's, DNA for good.
Yeah, a friend of mine, Mary, I told her to come over here. She also works with Espresso, and she came and met with you and she asked about the oils and stuff, and you showed her the 3 ways.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
And all that stuff and everything. It was funny because we were talking in the office about it.
Yeah.
And with our kids and stuff, and they were like, y'all are a bunch of hippies.
I know, right?
Like, they started to laugh, and I'm like, well, I guess that's how most people look at it. When you start to discuss that kind of stuff, they look at you like you're a hippie.
Yeah. And that's why I didn't name it like oil stuff. Like I said, Wellness Tuesday because
So funny.
Tree hugger. I know my kids already think I'm weird now. They're not going to notice any kind of difference later.
So, Dr. Ollie calls it biohacking, that we have the ability to biohack or change our health destiny. It's 90% our choice, 90%. And that's such a big power, for us and for our kiddos, and influencing people that are around us, people that we care about. It's, that's, to me, that's a reason why I keep teaching and keep sharing. Like, if I can, put some peppermint in your body, I'll be really happy to introduce that. So that's my ending. Again, we want to do emotional trauma clearing, or Miss Beatrice, just really, really good, a wonderful woman of God. She's a, really good prayer warrior. So she's going to talk about, combining prayer, emotional trauma, and essential oils. That's going to be an amazing, amazing class. I'm so excited. She actually arranged for that for me today. So, any questions? And just know, like on the number 4 and number 5, the emotional trauma clearing, and then the medication. Just know that some kids really do have they really do have a legit reason sometimes to be medicated. So just know that that's in the option. Yes, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you, when was
that
the class?
The class is going to be on May 10. That's on a Friday. So most of my classes here are Tuesday. So she's teaching on a Friday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, sometimes I struggle a little bit with my
Thank
kids
you for
on
tuning
just
in.
knowing.
I'm finishing the
And
video.
then they're going through a situation where